This is the Focus Shift podcast, your best listening experience for creating your best online business. We'll focus on topics that help you get discovered. So sit back, listen, take notes if you like, and get excited about growing your business.
Okay, if you're a creative pro, maybe a freelancer, anyone really, whose schedule just explodes when the holidays roll around, think photographers, designers, writers, you definitely know this feeling.
Oh, yeah.
The holidays, they seem to promise all that sparkle and celebration and, a big influx of work of bookings. But professionally, it can quickly feel less like a party and more like this exhausting 6-week sprint.
Totally. A marathon. You're just racing the clock, doing those back-to-back mini sessions maybe, fielding rush requests, trying to squeeze money out of every single minute.
Exactly. And that's the tension we're jumping into today.
Yeah.
Because it's so tempting, almost like this desperate urge to just say yes to every single inquiry that lands in your inbox.
Well, the money looks good, right? Especially end of year.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that path, just saying yes, 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 we know where it leads. It's total exhaustion. Maybe your quality starts to slip and you just hit that wall. Burnout.
That deep, bitter kind of burnout, too.
So the big idea we're tackling is why saying yes to everything, especially during these super busy times, might actually be the worst thing for your long-term game.
It really can be counterproductive.
So the question for you listening right now is, how do you actually protect your energy, your time, and really importantly, the integrity of your professional brand when it feels like everyone wants a piece of you?
And the answer, really jumped out from all the material we looked at. It comes down to mastering the power of no.
Saying no. Sounds simple, but it's not easy.
No, it's not. And our mission, kind of for this deep dive, is to show that saying no, it's not just like a shield. The research actually treats it almost like an art form.
An art form.
Yeah. And when you approach it strategically, it becomes, and this is almost a direct quote, one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your brand, your time, and your joy.
Okay, brand, time, and joy. I like that.
So we're going to unpack the sort of the hard professional reasons why these boundaries really matter, especially the cost when things don't align.
Yeah.
And then we'll get practical. We'll talk about a framework for how to say no gracefully, confidently, in a way that might actually build respect.
Right, not burn bridges. Okay, let's start with that core idea you mentioned. Every yes is basically a no to something else.
Right.
Opportunity cost, right? Applied to creative work.
Exactly. It's fundamental.
Because in that holiday chaos, every email, every inquiry, it feels like gold. Like a gift you just can't turn down. But what happens if you take that booking that it just doesn't fit? Maybe it's a style you hate doing or a project totally outside your niche. The sources seem really clear on this.
Oh, they are. Taking that misaligned work, it costs way more than just your energy in the moment.
Okay, explain that. What's the hidden cost?
We sometimes call it the long-term creative tax. So the immediate cost. Sure,
Right.
Time, energy drain, obvious.
Yeah.
But the hidden cost is what you didn't do instead. That hour you spent on the wrong thing. That's an hour you couldn't rest, couldn't recharge, which hits your quality later.
Okay.
And maybe even more critical, it's an hour you couldn't spend on marketing or networking or, serving those ideal clients who actually fit your bigger goals. You're effectively saying no to future you, to the best version of your work.
That makes perfect sense when you're planning in July. But, okay, let's be real. It's late November, the rent is due, maybe holiday gifts. It is really hard to turn down guaranteed money right then.
Yeah.
How does this principle work under pressure?
That's the crucible, right.
Yeah.
And that's where you need those vetting tools, like a filter. The sources give us 3 really essential questions to ask yourself before you hit reply, especially when things are tight.
Okay, let's break these down.
All right, first one. Does this session, this project, whatever it is, does it truly reflect the kind of work I want to be known for?
And that's not about being picky for picky's sake.
No, not at all. It's about signaling. It's about your brand positioning. If your thing is high-end studio portraits, right, and you take a sort of low-budget, run-and-gun outdoor family thing just for the cash, that's what ends up in your portfolio, maybe on your social media. And guess what? That's what you attract next time.
Right. It's like you're feeding the wrong algorithm for your own business. Feed it work you don't love, it spits back more work you don't love.
Exactly. You nailed it. Okay, second filter, just as crucial. Will this job add genuine value to my portfolio? Or is it just going to add stress and complexity to my calendar?
And value here means what? More than just money.
Yeah, definitely more than money. Value could be like a creative challenge that pushes you, or visibility with the right audience, or maybe it aligns with the new skill you're trying to build. But if it's just filler, just a task to tick off,
It's probably a no.
it's probably a no. Because that filler work, it eats up the mental energy you need for the stuff that actually matters, for the innovation.
Okay. And the third one, the sources said this one was maybe the most revealing.
Ah, yes. The gut check question. Would I take this job if it weren't the holiday season?
Ooh, okay.
Right, that question just cuts through the panic, the financial pressure. It forces you to be honest. Are you taking this because you're genuinely interested professionally? Or is it just scarcity talking, desperation?
If the only reason is because it's the holidays and I need the cash.
Then you're likely compromising your standards. You're bending your brand just to get through a temporary spike.
So if the answer to any of those is no,
Then the most professional move, honestly, the most strategic move, is to decline. Kindly, confidently. And yeah, try to ditch the guilt that always wants to creep in.
easier said than done, but okay.
It's about preserving your future self, your future creative health, your future financial health.
Okay, that flows perfectly into talking about brand identity. Because we hear brand and we think, logo, website colors.
The visual stuff.
Yeah, but the research keeps saying a professional brand, especially for creatives, it's the whole experience you promise.
That's the critical distinction, yes. It's not just the photo, the article, the design. It's
Right.
everything. How you communicate, how promptly you deliver, the vibe you create during the process, the standards you won't compromise on. That entire package. That's the promise.
And this is where things get messy during busy season.
Right.
Right, let's use that example again. The photographer who specializes in those calm, high-end family sessions. Cozy.
Right. Very specific niche.
And they take a gig shooting a chaotic, late-night corporate holiday party. Totally different lighting, different tech, different crowd energy.
The moment that work goes out, or even just the experience that corporate client has, which might be rushed or impersonal,
Yeah.
you've introduced inconsistency.
Okay.
And when your portfolio starts showing these two wildly different things, maybe even different quality levels because you were spread too thin, it just muddies the water.
Sends mixed signals.
Exactly. It waters down your identity, as the sources put it. Makes it harder for those ideal, high-value clients to look at your work and instantly say, ah, yes, that's the person for my specific need.
Okay, but here's the thing that sounds backwards. The sources suggest that setting strong boundaries, saying no, it doesn't make clients see you as difficult.
It's totally counterintuitive, but no. Often, it makes them see you as more professional, clearer.
Really.
Think about it. A professional who knows exactly what they do, when they do it, what their process is, they seem inherently more trustworthy than someone who's kind of all over the place, changing prices, working weird hours, taking anything.
So being super flexible and easy to hire isn't always the best strategy.
Not necessarily for building a premium brand, no.
Yeah.
You're defining your lane, and generally, clients respect and trust specialists who have a clearly defined lane more than generalists who try to do everything.
Huh.
So when you say no to a job that doesn't fit, you're not rejecting the client, you're actually aligning your business with its core strength. You're saying yes to the thing that makes your work valuable in the first place.
Right. It's alignment, not rejection.
Right.
Okay, I get the why. Protect the brand, avoid misalignment, stay true. But now, the how. The big hurdle. How do you actually say no without ticking someone off, damaging your reputation, losing that potential referral down the line? Feels tricky.
It really does. It feels like walking on eggshells sometimes, which is why the way you say no often matters more than the no itself.
Okay.
And there's a pretty simple three-part framework that came up consistently. The goal is always keep it kind, keep it professional, and be really direct. No wishy-washy stuff.
All right, lay it on me. Step 1.
Step 1, acknowledge and respect. You start with real gratitude. Validate that they thought of you, that they reached out. Something simple, sincere, like, thanks so much for reaching out. I really appreciate you thinking of me for this project.
Okay, softens the blow immediately.
Exactly. It shows respect.
Yeah.
Then step 2, give a clear, non-negotiable reason. And this is key. Avoid vague excuses they can argue with, like, I'm too tired, or I don't really like that kind of work.
Because then they'll try to convince you.
Right. Instead, use factual statements about your capacity or your focus. Like, unfortunately, I'm not taking on that style of session right now as I'm really focusing on my studio work. Or simply, my calendar is completely full for the holiday season. It's a statement of fact about your business.
Can't really argue with, I'm full, or that's not my focus area. Okay, what about step 3?
Step 3, offer help. This is where you maintain that positive connection. You say something like, however, I'd be happy to recommend another fantastic photographer I know who actually specializes in corporate events. Or whatever fits.
The referral. Now, that's the part that always gets pushback, right?
Yeah.
We hear this, wait, I should send my lead, my potential income, to a competitor. Why would I do that?
Yeah, it's a valid question. Feels counterintuitive again. But here's the thinking. The long-term professional gain usually outweighs that immediate lost fee. By offering a thoughtful referral, you're not just saying no sale. You're showing confidence. You're not afraid of other talented people. You're showing generosity. And you're demonstrating you have a strong professional network. You become a helpful expert even when you can't do the job.
And that makes them remember you positively.
Absolutely. That level of professionalism makes them think of you first next time they need your specialty, or makes them confident recommending you to someone else who is a perfect fit. It builds goodwill.
Okay, so it preserves the relationship, positions you as helpful, keeps the brand looking good. You're managing their problem, even if you're not taking their money. That makes sense.
It shows maturity as a business owner.
All right, let's loop this back to something maybe more fundamental for creatives. Rest. Because setting boundaries, it's not just about scheduling logistics, right? It's about sustainability. We talk about rest like it's a luxury, a reward you get after the hard work. But why is giving yourself that gift of rest actually a professional need?
Oh, it's absolutely critical, especially if your work involves any kind of deep thinking, problem solving, or, actual creativity.
Which is most creative work.
Exactly. Cognitive science is pretty clear on this.
Yeah.
Your best ideas, your most innovative work, it doesn't come from a brain that's running on empty. Burnout isn't just being tired. It actually degrades your ability to think originally, to solve complex problems, to execute with finesse.
So being constantly rushed and stressed means you just can't produce your best stuff.
Pretty much. You start relying on formulas, on the safe choices, maybe cutting corners on quality, consciously or unconsciously, because you literally don't have the mental bandwidth for inspiration to strike or for deep focus. So carefully choosing your projects, setting those boundaries, that's not about being lazy. It's about protecting the very source of your best work.
It's like you have to protect the quiet time so the good ideas actually have space to show up.
You got it. And this needs to translate into real practical boundaries, not just nice ideas.
Like what? Give me examples.
Okay, like setting a hard limit. During November and December, I will only take on X number of projects or sessions, period.
Okay.
Or defining and actually sticking to office hours. Maybe it's no client emails after 6 p.m., and then actively guarding personal time that has nothing to do with work. These aren't selfish acts. They're investments in ensuring you start the new year feeling inspired, not depleted, and frankly, resentful.
Resentful is a big one.
Yeah.
Okay, so stepping back, looking at the whole picture, what does this art of saying no really achieve at the end of the day?
At its core, it achieves alignment. The sources put it really nicely, something like, the art of saying no is really the art of staying true.
Staying true.
Yeah, staying true to your brand, to your boundaries, and ultimately to your creative purpose. It means letting your decisions today reflect the kind of high-value, fulfilled professional you want to be next year, not just the stressed-out one trying to survive this month.
So that clarity in saying no actually protects the work you love and makes space for a better yes later on. The kind of yes that really defines your career, not just pays the bills for a week.
Precisely. It's about playing the long game.
Okay.
Which leaves us with maybe one final thought, something for you, the listener, to chew on as you look ahead.
All right, let's hear it.
Think about the next quarter, maybe the first few months of next year. Look at your calendar, your commitments right now. What yes are you currently locked into? Maybe it's a long-standing client you've outgrown, a recurring task that drains you, a low-value project.
Yeah.
What yes right now is forcing you implicitly to say no to the most valuable, most inspired version of your own creative potential.
Wow. Okay.
Are you accepting that drain now, knowing it might cost you your brilliance later? Just something to think about as you define those boundaries for the year ahead.
The Focus Shift podcast is presented by PhotoBiz, the best website solution for photographers. Whether you're launching your site or scaling your online business, PhotoBiz has your back. To get started for free, visit photobiz.com today.